So I'm here with Tom Waite. We're in your 1950 Mercury, correct?
Mercury Monterey Convertible.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about this car. What does it mean to you? Why'd you pick it up and how'd you get it?
I went to the Paradise Valley annual car show over at City Hall. There was a gentleman that had this car there, and I had met him the previous year at the same car show, and he had an old Woody, and I just couldn't believe how pristine that car was. Ends up, he's got this car this year sitting there and it has a for sale sign on it. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So I started talking to him about it again, and it was a 1950 Mercury Monterey Convertible, resto mod. I asked him, if he had any offers on it yet, and he said, yeah, he had one gal, but she didn't have the money. So I told him I would buy it because I looked at the car and it was just pristine in every way, and it's the year I was born. I had to have it. I don't think you could rebuild this car for twice the money that I paid for it.
There's no way.
You can't do it anymore.
And the attention to detail on this is amazing. Obviously 1950 is significant to you because your birthday. But most of your cars, I would say, are more sporty. You've got a lot of Porsches, and then you've got the off-road trucks and whatnot. I go for the Mercury, a bigger cruiser type vehicle.
I think variety is the spice of life.
Exactly. There you go.
So, just this is a good one to bring out on the weekends. Put the top down and just cruise. And it's one of those cars that puts smiles on people's faces. I don't care if you're a little kid or a 90-year-old woman.
Exactly.
Everybody loves something that's special like this, and that's why I did it. It did that to me, so I knew it would do that to other people.
You've got a handful of cars. What is one car that you would go for if money was no objective?
I'm really a Porsche guy. I'm actually having a Porsche built in Germany now. It's kind of like my ultimate, but it's being hand built by a guy that I met in Florida at the Amelia Island car auction, and he builds them over there. It's a 911 ST, a recreation of a 7071 Porsche that was limited production, which was built just to race the cars on the circuit during those years. And it's just kind of everything to me. It's the whole experience of buying the car, knowing the guy, going to Germany, seeing how he does it, him hosting me and entertaining me like I'm a king. And so for me, it's not really about the car as much as about the car buying experience.
Exactly, and the story with that car.
Yeah, and it's going to take a year to build it, and the
anticipation is building up.
He sends me pictures of it on WhatsApp, and it keeps me up to date, and I get excited about it, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
To get cars like this, it comes with a lot of hard work. What is it that you did? It kind of explain, because you and I have talked about it before. You've had a plethora of different types of companies. What really, I guess, sparked it for you, and what is it that you did?
Well, I started a satellite television company in 1985, and I was fortunate enough to kind of strike gold at the right time and built that business up, and it's still operating today. Even in this era of cut the cord and cable TV is no more. We have some good government contracts, and it afforded me the opportunity to be able to indulge myself in my second passion, which is real estate. And I accumulated rental properties in the Arcadia area. It's Phoenix over the last 20 years, and it's given me the opportunity, the cash flow to do other things. So starting out, it was a cable TV, and I made enough money then to be able to invest slowly into real estate in Phoenix, Arizona, and that in turn has grown into a cash flow business that's really worked out. And I'm not a seller.
And you kind of touched on it there, and Tom and I talk about this a lot. I think accumulating properties is the number one way to do it. You've just bought properties slowly but surely. Would you recommend that to somebody who's thinking about getting into the real estate game? Is there something that you look back on and say, man, I wish I did some more flips? And you've done spec homes in the past. Do you regret selling those spec homes? Where does that kind of stand?
Well, most of those spec homes were partnerships with other people, except for a couple of them. And I actually built one that was going to be a spec in Arcadia Light or whatever they call it now, and couldn't sell it for $1 million. It's a brand new home, and right now you're actually leasing it for me.
Yep, yep.
You know, and now it's worth over $2 million, and it's 7 or 8 years later. And
Exactly.
I've had a tenant for the last 7 or 8 years, so I mean,
Cash flowing for.
it's hard to beat.
Do you think the passive income is better than the quick money in the long term?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, what you want to establish is recurring income.
exactly.
And that's what I was able to do in my satellite TV business. It was a recurring revenue business. Even though we had tiny margins, we were selling programming throughout the whole United States to a lot of people. So it was just a numbers game of, you know, recurring revenue, even at smaller increments. If you keep doing that and build it up long enough, then you don't have to go out every month and slay the dragon and try to make your bottom line. I think one of the biggest things in my success was having a partner in starting the satellite TV business who had all the skill sets that I didn't have. Partnership was a great way to go, and probably still is, for people to get together, bounce ideas off each other, and support each other's strengths and weaknesses to build a company.
So my thought is, and I kind of want your perspective on this. I think that having a partner, not only do you have the strengths and weaknesses, but we come from two different backgrounds. We've lived different lives. Everybody's seen different things. Do you think that having a partnership gave you new ideas, and the combination of the two minds created more ideas than maybe either one of you would come up with separately?
And, yeah, definitely. And
Okay.
I was the guy that ran the business, and he was the guy that did the sales. So,
Exactly.
you know, it was perfect. Everybody loved him. They loved me too, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
How could you not?
He was out there, you know, doing what he does best, and he did a great job of that. And I did my job of keeping the business on the tracks, you know. And
Knowing modern technology, how quickly it's evolving, there's a lot of people who want to start their own business or accumulate wealth. Would you say starting a business right now is good? If so, what would that business be? Or do you think at a younger age people should go out and get experience through other means so that they figure out what it is that they want to truly be passionate about and go after?
well, I'm old school, and so I like to see people get out there and network, and kind of what
Yep.
you do, Tyler. I mean, you know, you're a boots on the ground guy, and that's what I always have appreciated about you.
I appreciate it.
Seriously, I mean, you know, you do all the old school things that you don't see people doing much anymore.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask me to say this stuff.
Yeah. Here,
I mean,
slip him a 20 real quick.
I mean it from my heart, you know, and that can't be overstated how important it is to get out there and meet people, because it seems like we're getting to the point in the world where, you know, we're sitting at home after the pandemic and we're just doing our online stuff.
Exactly.
And, you know, we've lost kind of the whole idea of what humanity is all about, and connecting and
That's really been the most important thing. I think I learned that from you and Kurt and everybody else. Obviously, my parents as well.
right.
But talking to people is where you get your most knowledge. It's the school of life. There's businesses out there that you just don't know about. And I think there's so much value in that. And I have to say I appreciate Tom, and
Yeah,
because
I mean-
you've done an amazing job.
Well, and you're on the right track, and like I told you, I've kind of wanted to help you whenever I can, because anytime I see a young man that's working hard and striving to do, you know, what you're doing. When I met your mom and dad, I told your dad, I said, you did a hell of a job.
and they appreciate that so much, and I do too. I mean, it really means a lot. So